everyone. We are back with more Barnstable this morning, just about 20 minutes toward the top of the hour. I'm Sarah Colvin, and joining me live on the phone, I welcome our 5th Barnstable State Representative, Randy Hunt. Representative Hunt, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Sarah. It's good to talk to you.
Good to talk with you as well. How are you this fine morning?
Not bad. We had somewhat of a contentious session yesterday.
Yes.
But I wanted to make one side note, which is my colleague Brian Mannell gave his maiden speech in the House chamber yesterday. Now, this is his 4th year being a state rep, so he's been kind of the quiet guy for a little while, but now I'm thinking that he's broken that and he's on his way to being up at the podium every time we turn around.
Absolutely.
So congratulations to him. His parents and his kids and wife were there as well, so it was nice for them to be able to see that.
Really special event. Certainly, we offer our congratulations to Brian as well. It's very exciting, exciting moment. So certainly a busy day to be able to do that. As you said, a kind of a contentious day up at the State House, debating, of course, the transgender rights bill, which is something that really has received an issue at least that's received some national attention. So tell me a little bit about what, and I understand the bill was approved yesterday, so tell me a little bit about what happened yesterday up at the State House.
The House version of this bill was put forward the same as the Senate version of the bill, with one addition, an important one actually, and that was a way to deal with people who might pretend to be transgender to get access to a restroom of the opposite sex for nefarious purposes. That helped a lot of the legislators be able to embrace this version of the bill, and we also delayed the date instead of it becoming effective immediately. Our version of the bill says it will become effective January 1st, 2017, and part of the reason for that is that the the Attorney General, has been given the assignment of figuring out what to do with people who use as a ruse pretending to be transgender to access bathrooms. This would typically be men who might do that, but although this happens from time to time, and I should remind you that 25% of our state population actually lives in cities where this has been an ordinance for a long time, since 2002 in Boston, for example, but also 17 other states have passed similar legislation. And still you get a scant handful of people who are posing as transgender to enter a restroom. Of course, the cases that we see are people that do something that is illegal today and will be illegal on January 1st, like trespassing or stalking, lewd and lascivious behavior, assault, all of those things that you would be concerned with a criminal doing in a bathroom setting.
Sure, and call me naive, but I would think that, transgender bill or not, a predator who wants to gain access to a women's room by dressing like a woman, isn't necessarily posing as a transgender person, is just wearing a disguise to enter another bathroom. And so that, certainly would remain a concern, I think, regardless of whether legislation was passed or not. As you said, criminals.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And most bathrooms don't have, security guards or bouncers at their entrances. And unlike, back in the old days when I used to go to spend all my time at a country club and there were bathroom attendants, I don't see that much anymore.
Absolutely.
That's a joke, by the way. Obviously, if that were true, the next question would be, how did you squander all of your money?
So, tell me more about this rights bill, and what it's going to do essentially.
Yeah, like I said, the version that the Senate voted on is slightly different than the House version, which typically means that you go to a conference committee to iron things out. But this bill is literally only about 500 words, so it's not something that you need to hash out forever. So more likely what will happen is the Senate is probably just going to agree to support the same bill, take a vote on that, and then the bill will go to the governor's desk. The governor announced on Tuesday that if the House version of the bill that had the piece in it about the AG coming up with penalties for using this wrongly, he said that he would sign that version of the bill.
So, for you as a Republican, Randy, this was kind of almost a not necessarily crossing party lines, but going, against the majority of your party. I'm understanding that you voted in favor of this bill. Can you talk to me a little bit about, why that was important to you to vote in favor of this?
Yeah, I tell you what, I've been looking at this since it came up last year very closely, looking at the pro and con websites, actually delving into the examples that some of the opposition post on their websites about, why this should not be a bill that's passed in Massachusetts. Most of the time finding out that they're abridged versions of the reasons that they say we should be fearful of it are in fact so abridged that they completely change the character of the actual cases that are on that have happened in other states or in cities like Boston where this has been a bylaw for a long time. So in other words, I've done a lot of research on this. I also, am more sensitive to this than most because even though the transgender population nationwide is about 0.3% of the population, so it's very small. I have a niece who's transgendering to become my nephew, and that close connection is also, something that's educational for me so I can understand more about what the issues are. And the other thing is, in 2010, transgendered people became a protected class, separate and apart from sexual orientation, which had been the law for a long time before that, but only with respect to employment, housing, and credit, and not with respect to public accommodations. And people do get confused about public accommodations. That's essentially where, it's okay for somebody to work in the kitchen of a diner but not actually allowed to sit there and eat at the diner. Of course, I don't think that probably none of us had any problem with public accommodations as far as transgender people being able to use theaters, restaurants, and that type of thing. The whole hot issue came down to the use of restrooms, locker rooms, and bathing facilities based on gender identity. That was really where it was coming down. But given a history of other states having done this, 17 to be precise, and having these laws on the books as early as 1993, we can see that our expectation for January 1st, 2017 should be that essentially nothing's going to change for anybody.
Absolutely, and it really,
except for these people.
Exactly.
Who do deal with the ridicule in their everyday lives.
Absolutely. I think what it comes down to is tolerance and really civil rights, right? That's what we're thinking about.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I can't stand in front of a group of people and say I don't want to discriminate against anyone, and then quietly in the background vote to discriminate against someone. So this is it's a tough vote from a political stance, being a Republican. But I hope that people understand that I'm still the same guy. I research things very deeply, and that actually a great number of my constituents are supportive of having this change.
Great. Well, Randy, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us here on Barnstable this morning. A pleasure to talk with you, and we will check in with you again in a couple of weeks. Have a great day.
Sounds great, Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
5th Barnstable State Representative Randy Hunt joining us. Now let's learn more about tonight.